टेलिभिजन। 21औं अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय बीमा सम्मेलन मंगलबारदेखि काठमाडौँमा सुरु भएको छ। अर्थमन्त्री डाक्टर युवराज खतिवड़ाले मंगलबार काठमाडौँमा 21औं अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय बीमा सम्मेलनको उद्घाटन गर्नुभएको हो। विकासशील राष्ट्रका बीमा र पुनर्बीमा कम्पनीहरूको संगठन AIRDC ले सो सम्मेलन आयोजना गरेको हो। सम्मेलनको उद्घाटन गर्दै अर्थमन्त्री खतिवड़ाले बीमा क्षेत्रमा देखिएको जोखिम न्यूनीकरण गर्न सबै पक्षलाई लाग्न आह्वान गर्नुभयो। उहाँले प्रविधिको नयाँ प्रयोगसँगै बीमा क्षेत्रमा पनि चुनौती थपिएको उल्लेख गर्दै त्यसलाई सामना गरेर अघि बढ्न विकासशील राष्ट्रहरूबीच सहकार्य गरेर अघि बढ्नुपर्नेमा पनि जोड दिनुभयो।
Financially insured, and it's why the insurance industry thrives all over the world. And this is how we have been gathered today to see how we can better perform and minimize the insurable financial risks that arise in business. I think this conference will hold important discussions and come to a conclusion as to how we can better perform in terms of our changing dynamics of the society, economy and the environment, also relating to climate change. Let me also cite another challenge that insurers might have been facing in the present day. Because I never have been in this insurance industry, I am an outsider to understand this, but I can guess that you must be facing new challenges coming from the cyber technologies, new kind of technology that makes systemic risk in several of our operations. I don't know, how do you insure such kind of a risk? We regulators in different fields still don't know how to better protect our systems from different kind of risk associated with new technology, particularly related to IT technology and that related to cyber crimes. This is another risk area which insurers must be finding very difficult time to cope with. I'm also worried about the growing financial integration all over the world and the kind of systemic risk we get from this interwoven financial world. Because you must be doing good job, your company must be doing good job, but if the industry suffers from external shocks, you must be having your own strategy to cope such kind of risk or such kind of challenge.
अर्थमन्त्री खतिवड़ाले नेपालले बीमा मार्फत जनतालाई सशक्त बनाएर गरिबी निवारण गर्ने कामलाई उच्च प्राथमिकता दिएको पनि स्पष्ट पार्नुभयो। उहाँले बीमा सेवाले सामाजिक आर्थिक रूपान्तरणमा महत्त्वपूर्ण भूमिका निर्वाह गर्ने उल्लेख गर्दै त्यसका लागि आवश्यक नयाँ प्रविधिको प्रयोग गर्न ढिलाइ गर्न नहुने पनि बताउनुभयो।
Inclusive finance, and if you are really looking for empowering people in society for inclusive growth, we must go for micro insurance. And that microinsurance is one of the preconditions also to take people out of poverty and to maintain people to remain out of poverty and not to be vulnerable to any small shocks coming from weather or coming from some other epidemics like the health hazards. Nepal has started weather-based indexation system, weather index-based insurance system. That's giving good result. I urge people, our colleagues in Nepal, to diversify it to cover more of the commercial agriculture at least and see how we can work together to have an inclusive development process with empowered people and minimized risk. Health insurance is coming as a good strategy to cope with growing health challenges in the globe. Nepal is going towards universal health care through insurance. Our government has recently decided that people above 70 years would get free health insurance coverage up to 100,000 rupees without paying any premium for themselves. The government will pay for them. We'll do the same for poor. We'll do the same for people under absolute poverty. We'll do the same for people in marginalized group. And gradually we try to make it universal. So if we are ready to universalize health care, perhaps the supply side of it has also to be equally competent and service providers have to be in place. On the demand side, once insurance is there, we know people will demand health service, but unless we have health service providers also, this service cannot work. The supply side will work, but to create demand and to make people able to procure health services, I think health insurance would be one of the best way. And this is one of also the sustainable way of social protection.
2 दिनसम्म चल्ने अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय सम्मेलनमा विदेशी करिब 200 तथा स्वदेशी करिब 400 बढीको सहभागिता रहेको छ। सम्मेलनमा प्राकृतिक विपत्तिको जोखिम न्यूनीकरणमा बीमा कम्पनीहरूको भूमिका विषयमा पनि विस्तृत छलफल हुने बीमा समितिले जनाएको छ।
We are an international non-profit. As I had change of responsibilities in my former company, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to Kathmandu. A purely post-disaster response becomes paramount.
For having chosen Nepal and Kathmandu in
recovery process. Such financial instruments not only provide much needed, more important roles governments have in mitigating a sound disaster recovery financing system.
For having chosen Nepal and Kathmandu
in low-income countries may receive public assistance. This support
financially insured, and it's why the insurance industry thrives all over the world. And this is how we have been gathered today to see how we can better perform and minimize the insurable financial risks that arise in business. I think this conference will hold important discussions and come to a conclusion as to how we can better perform in terms of our changing dynamics of the society, economy, and the environment, also relating to climate change. Let me also cite another challenge that insurers might have been facing in the present day, because I never have been in this insurance industry. I am an outsider to understand this, but I can guess that we must be facing new challenges coming from the cyber technologies, new kind of technology that makes systemic risk in several of our operations. I don't know, how do you insure such kind of risk? We regulators in different fields still don't know how to better protect our systems from different kind of risk associated with new technology, particularly related to IT technology, and that related to cyber crimes. This is another risk area which insurers must be finding very difficult time to cope with. I'm also worried about the growing financial integration all over the world and the kind of systemic risk we get from this interwoven financial world. Because you must be doing good job, your company must be doing good job, but if the industry suffers from external shocks, you must be having your own strategy to cope such kind of risk or such kind of challenge.
Tax hikes, borrowing, donor contributions. They may also act a broad range of social and economic impacts, causing damages to life.
For having chosen Nepal and Kathmandu
and resume growth is critical to effective risk management. Identifying and accurately evaluating natural and man-made disasters. Starting point for identifying financial vulnerabilities within the economy.
Inclusive finance, and if you are really looking for empowering people in society for inclusive growth, we must go for micro-insurance. And that micro-insurance is one of the preconditions also to take people out of poverty and to maintain people to remain out of poverty and not to be vulnerable to any small shocks coming from weather or coming from some other epidemics like the health hazards. Nepal has started weather-based indexation system, weather index-based insurance system. That's giving good result. I urge people, our colleagues in Nepal, to diversify it, to cover more of the commercial agriculture at least, and see how we can work together to have an inclusive development process with empowered people and a minimized risk. Health insurance is coming as a good strategy to cope with growing health challenges in the globe. Nepal is going towards universal health care through insurance. Our government has recently decided that people above 70 years would get free health insurance coverage up to 100,000 rupees without paying any premium for themselves. The government will pay for them. We'll do the same for poor. We'll do the same for people under absolute poverty. We'll do the same for people in marginalized group. And gradually we try to make it universal. So if we are ready to universalize health care, perhaps the supply side of it has also to be equally competent and service providers have to be in place. On the demand side, once insurance is there, we know people will demand health service, but unless we have health service providers also, this service cannot work. The supply side will work, but to create demand and to make people able to procure health services, I think health insurance would be one of the best way. And this is one of also the sustainable way of social protection.
Of the likelihood and potential impacts of disasters and the identification of costs. Governments have a key role in ensuring intervention, considering the development of public financial bonds serve the same process as reinsurance. Yet the risks are not who receive a contingent interest rate calculated on the basis of risk and thus be transferred to international financial markets that have implementing disaster risk financing. These implementation challenges. Therefore, it is imperative for the right policies, regulation, and private response to disaster risk recovery. Cases capable of pooling data from diverse sources, helping to wishing you all successful deliberations over the course of the next 2 days.
It's a humble request to our chief guest, Honorable Dr. Yuvraj Khatioda.